Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Brown, and I am going to medical school. I was accepted to Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. I'm matriculating this July, so I'm starting to kind of do some reviews, see, kind of get some practice on how I'm going to study in my new study that I just kind of set up for medical school because it's online now due to COVID this first semester, so that'll be interesting. But I'm making this video because I am definitely a non-traditional student and I cannot find online anyone like me who applied to medical school with kind of guidance or have a resource to kind of help build my packet. So, background, Ryan, my name, 30 years old, wife, two little kids right there. Um, I graduated high school in 2008, and then I joined the Army, went to Special Forces, earned my Green Beret in 2012, been in group ever since, just got out this May, did some National Guard time, so I just got out officially this May, and that's why the beard's coming in nice, so I'm excited about that. But I was not 22 years old when I graduated and applied to medical school. And I say that because when I think, what do I need to do in my packet to stand out? And you Google, blah, 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 what do you need to do to apply to medical school? What's a traditional student look like? Traditional student, 22 years old, minimal job experience, maybe some clinical hours or shadowing. Really high GPA, trying to get a 4.0, decent MCAT score. And when you're living in your mother's basement and she's cooking and cleaning and doing your laundry, it's a whole lot easier to do all those things because you have one job. One job is to get your degree and apply to medical school. Non-traditional student, i.e. 30 years old, kids, I deployed to Korea while I was earning my degree, so I had to take a year off to go on a deployment. So that sucked for continuity of education because you're like in chemistry and take a year off, you come back and you're like, what was this? I just did calculus. What is calculus now? I forgot. It's been a year and before I do the second semester. So that's definitely non-traditional. Um, so how do you stand out as a non-traditional student? That is what this channel or video channel, if I do more than one video, if this is it and nobody watches it, I won't make it anymore. But what do you do as a non-traditional to stand out amongst your peers who may have higher MCAT scores, may have higher GPA, may have more clinical hours or shadowing because they had zero responsibilities while they were 18 to 22 going to undergrad? So when I wrote my personal statement, I felt like I hit it out of the park because I started out with, there I was in the heat of North Carolina, rucksack on my back, waiting for someone to call medic. I think that was pretty much the first sentence. So I was a medic in the Army while I was doing some training. That was my AIT, Advanced Individual Training, and then I went to the Q course after that, qualification course to be a Green Beret. So I started out with being stressed out, waiting for someone to call a medic, live patient, blood, guts, gunshot wounds, and I really focused on not so much the medicine because not everyone gets medicine, and this channel won't help if I say it only helps for medics in the Army. No, what I focused on was I've been in stressful environments before and I've thrived. So I've been stressed out before, I'll be all right? So when you think about what a traditional student lacks is showing that they've been stressed out. Undergrad's not hard. It's not. It is not hard. I got a 3.67 working night shift as a scribe. I want to do a scribe because I feel like that would help my resume. Being a father of two, drilling in the National Guard in a different state. So I drive to a different state one weekend a month. And it always felt like that weekend I was gone was the Monday was the exam. So, and being a father to two, husband to my wife, felt like I was stressed out. but I wasn't that stressed out. Like life, right? Like life happens. Med school is going to be more of a stressor. It's 80-hour weeks, right? Drinking information out of a fire hose. So undergrad is not the best way to say you've been stressed out. Like, oh, I did well when I had zero stressors, is what a 4.0 22-year-old, that's what that means to me. And I think that's what it means to medical schools, because you haven't been tested yet. So as a non-traditional student, focus on your career or your extracurricular activities and how those have molded you into a more mature person. So when they think about, can this person graduate? They look at you and say, no big deal, right? If medical school average is like 50 grand a year and you fail your first year, the school, the business lost $150,000 out of your pocket because you didn't make it. So obviously med schools want good students. They want smart individuals so they can go on, graduate, write papers, do research, build their name brand, so they can be at Johns Hopkins or University of Michigan, things like that. Or now I was accepted to Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, Lake-Com. It's one of the largest medical schools now, one of the largest and cheapest private schools. So they're building. But they can't do that if they select people who have never been tested, never been stressed out, and are overwhelmed and fail. They lose millions of dollars. So that's like a secondary thing no one talks about. And I feel like I should just mention that. So when you write your personal statement or you write in your extracurricular activities and what makes you stand out, everyone's got good grades. No one's applying with a 2.5 and getting in. No one is going in with the 472. Is that the lowest you can get? 472 or some crap on the MCAT? No one's getting in with that. So everyone's at least in the middle. So if you're in the middle, and so is everyone else, how do you stand out? If you have a 4.0 and you had a job as like a medical scribe all 4 years and you got a 520 plus on the MCAT, you're getting into a medical school somewhere. Don't worry about it. This video is not for you. This video is for the non-traditionals who feel like they can be a physician, but they may not have always known that, so they haven't set themselves up their entire life. For example, my GPA for University of Michigan Flint was the second degree I got, was 3.67. But my cumulative, when you put it all online and they start building your packets on a COMIS and AMCAS, it was like 3.3, which is really low. But because I have 2 bachelor degrees, they just combine everything. And I was taking classes when I was deployed to Kuwait in 2013, 2014. When I was in Kuwait, I was taking classes, and I would have to write my teachers like, hey, I will not be near the free world internet for 3 weeks. Should I just retake this? And they'd be like, no, just get me to what you can. And it was really nice to help. But still, like, when I was 2013, I didn't know I was going to go to medical school or that it was even an opportunity for me. So getting a 2.9 in that degree, because I was deployed and things like that, hurt my medical school application. If they just looked at the 3.6 and not combine 2 degrees and then lower my cumulative GPA, I feel like that would maybe, be a little different. If some medical schools are like, if you're below 3.5, just go here, boom, and trash can. Like, that would have been mine because my cumulative over 2 degrees, 200 plus credit hours, putting that in. So as a non-traditional, you have to focus on things that make you stand out. Okay, so my big thing was, I've been stressed out before. Med school is not going to be stressful. Know the reason why you're going to medical school. If you are 22 and you've never done anything, not to be harshing on them, but the traditional is like, oh, my dad's a doctor, so I want to be a doctor. My mom's a doctor, so I want to be a doctor. Okay, cool. But if someone comes in, they're like, hey, I did this job and I felt like I wasn't fulfilled. So I then went backwards. I worked harder. I dug a big hole to then get out of that hole because I know this is what I want to do. there's more heart in it, if that makes sense. And I feel like they look at that and they're like, yeah, this guy didn't have to do this, but he chose to. So if it's even, same MCAT, same GPA, same hours, why would you not take the more mature, the more tested, someone who has proven that this is what they want to do and that they will succeed at it? So hit me up if you have any questions, and I'll definitely try and get back on comments. This is my first YouTube video. I may never make another one if literally no one cares to watch this and I suck at it. But if people like it, or someone hits comments and asks questions on how, I got in, and how other people maybe can hopefully help them, the people in the middle, how do you make yourself stand out? I'll make another video, or I'll keep the channel going and maybe talk about how, as a non-traditional student going through medical school, what do I see, how do I do on my classes in first year, second year, and things like that, and maybe make a channel out of it. So subscribe and hit, I don't know where buttons are, so I don't know how to do this yet. So do all that. You all know how it works, and I greatly appreciate it, and hopefully I'll talk to you all later. Bye.